is. Hi, friends. I was trying to make sure this got pinned to the top, so apologies for my quietness over here. "23 people already. Woohoo! Thank you guys for joining me today. Hi, Mary. Hi, Linda. Hi, Donnie. Donna, Penny. That was a combination of Donna and Penny was Donnie. Andrea, Colleen. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Stacy. Hope you guys are doing well. Linda. Who else is here? Melanie. Another Donna. Karen. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you are having a wonderful week so far. It's been a really long week, if you ask me. It has been a long week. Thank goodness tomorrow is Friday. So we're going to make this really fun and quite simple treat holder today. This is what it looks like. And just like that, you can fit lots of little goodies in there. So I am going to have a modified version of this, but it's not going to be for a little bit. So I'll let you guys know when that finally comes out. Actually, I'm designing that as part of the a group that I'm in for Team Stampin', and we make holiday projects. So it's actually, I believe it's 12 or 13 projects. So I'm going to make one that's a little bit bigger. So when that comes out, make sure that you are, if you aren't already, a subscriber to my email, because I send it out. It's completely free. It's a gift for following me all year. For putting up with me, I would say, but for following me all year. So actually that one will be bigger, that you can actually put a gift card onto the back if you want. And I think I'm actually going to put it on the bottom. That way, if you wanted to, you could add it to the back if you felt like it, or the bottom. But I'm going to make a little bit bigger of one. So this one is the one I started out with. And I got this idea. A couple different people shared this idea through several different blogs, but I thought this would be pretty fun. Now, one other thing I want to mention, and I probably should have gotten these out ahead of time, but I didn't think of it till just this moment. But Donna, some time ago, sent me, oh, here they are. She sent me some, oh my goodness, they're stuck to this thing here. She sent me some mini magnets that she got on Amazon. So it's like a whole ton of these. So you could actually make this with a magnetic closure. And the way you would do that, I'll just show you with this one. So, you know, when you want to make sure you have your two magnets so they are ready to stick to each other. So I'll show you what I mean, because you don't want ones that are going to be opposite, because then they're going to repel. So I'm going to put a glue dot on one. So I'll just do this so you can see it now. And I'm just going to kind of put this under like that. Okay, so that will be the top one. And then we're going to put another glue dot onto the other side of the other one. And pull that. So we're going to close it like that. And hopefully they should come apart. There we go. So then what you can do is you can make it so it's self-closing. So you'll just have that little magnet. The only thing you want to be careful is you don't want to give this to anyone that might have little children that pull things off and put them in their mouth, because that would be a disaster. And nobody wants to take their kid to the ER for a magnetic ingestion for any reason, really, but especially with the treat box. So this one is obviously Halloween. And one thing I do want to mention is I put some of my DSP on upside down, but I think it still looks really cute because it's kind of covered up with the pumpkin there. So this is a sample. This used Gorgeous Grape, and then this used the Magic in the Night DSP. And then I used the Harvest Hellos bundle. So that is the pumpkin or the apple. So you could also make this if you wanted to do a little something for the teachers. And then, like I said, it opens up. You can fit a good, you could put Hershey Kisses, you could fit Getz's Bullseye, which those are a really popular treat around here. I'm sure you could fit lots of other little stuff in there too. So I have two different ones today, and neither one of them have anything to do with a holiday. So I kind of hoped that I would show you this one as a Halloween example, and then I'm going to show you two that could just be used for any everyday purpose whatsoever, okay? So the stamp sets that we're going to use, I got Forever Fern, and I grabbed the So Sentimental bundle as well because I really like these little dies that coordinate with this. So if you purchase these two together, you do save 10%. And then Forever Fern also has, oh my goodness, it's getting a little, I don't want to say humid because it's not getting humid, but my magnets, apparently I didn't stick them in as well as I thought I did. But I was working with this the other day because I'm making my cards for my stamp club, which is Saturday, which I'm really excited about. So I must have loosened these up. But anyway, if you buy these. So same thing, this is Forever Fern, and then I believe the dies are called Forever Greenery. So if you purchase these together, you do bundle and save 10%. And this one, the stamps on this are very photorealistic. So they kind of almost look like they're dotty, but if you don't over ink your stamp, they turn out really, really beautifully. So we're going to do this for one. And then for my other one, I picked the In Good Taste DSP. We're going to use Early Espresso, and then we're going to mix it up with Tasteful Touches, and I might use one of these smaller greetings from Framed for You. I haven't 100% decided yet. Same thing with Tasteful Touches. I believe it's also Tasteful Textures, maybe Tasteful Labels. I can't remember the die name, but these, same thing. If you purchase them together, you'll save 10% on the bundle. This one's really neat too. I need to do, remember I was going to do that one as a Halloween card. I need to get that feather out. So we're going to do this. So I'm going to show you with this one first, because this one's already all scored, and I'm going to show you where we cut. And then I have another one that we're going to do with shaded spruce, and we will score that one completely and assemble the whole thing so you guys can understand exactly what we're going to do. So in order to be able to make this, you need a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 9 3/4. Okay, and you could switch if you wanted to, but I have 3 pieces. Now, you know what? This one I just cut short again. Daggone it. Well, this one's going to have a little bit larger of a border. I always forget. No, you know why? It's for this one. That's why. Because this is the bottom. Blondie strikes again. This one is the In Good Taste DSP, and I just thought this would be kind of like a pretty card because you have the espresso and then the lighter colors, and you can absolutely make it so all of your DSP matches, but this one kind of just more looks like a cozy sweater card. This one also has a really pretty wood grain to it, so you could swap to that if you wanted as well. But these are available, and I'm just going to show you just quickly. These are available in the big catalog. I know sometimes we focus on the holiday catalog and we kind of forget about everything else, but this is the In Good Taste Suite. So there is a beautiful DSP pack. It has a lot of paper. This is probably one of the largest packs of paper I think we've ever carried. It has great textures. It has a lot of wood grain. It's a really versatile pack of paper if you haven't seen it. And then you have Tasteful Touches is the stamp set, and then it has Tasteful Labels. That is the die. So that's good to remember for that one. And then the other one is Forever Greenery. This one also has some gorgeous ribbon. It has those gold hoops that everybody loves, and it has the 2 mini embossing folders, which are for the mini machine, which hasn't come out yet, but they said it will be coming eventually. I still don't know exactly when. So the Forever Greenery paper is really, really beautiful. Has lots of coordinating colors. And then you also have the stamp set, and then the coordinating dies are called Forever Flourishing. I don't know, I always want to say fern, not flourish, but anyway. So if you bundle those two together, you do save 10%. And you can see just what I was explaining earlier about this stamp set specifically. If you see something that says distinctive, it means it's going to have a really photorealistic quality to it. So for these stamps in particular, you want to make sure that your stamp pad is not over inked, because sometimes that it makes it too gummy to really show through the pretty images. So if you ever notice that it's not looking like you think it is, do our trick with the spoon and move your ink to one side and try stamping it again. If you notice that it doesn't ink enough, maybe you need to re-ink it. That would probably only be with the linen pads, because the foam pads do stay pretty juicy overall. So once more, if you don't have a demonstrator, be happy to send you a catalog. You can send me your full mailing address, including zip code, to rachthestamper@gmail.com. If you already do have a demonstrator you work with, I do ask that you get your catalog from them, because we do have to pay for them and also pay to mail them out. But if you don't, I'll be happy to send you one in the holiday catalog as well. So without further delay, let me put this down and we'll get started. Let's see if we have any other. There's Debbie Allen. I see you today. I didn't miss you. So we're gonna I'm gonna show you this one. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna score this one. I'm gonna cut, because this one's already scored, and then we'll go back and we'll do that other one. So let me move this off. So what I did, and I am going to tell you where I scored this. So you have on the 7-inch side, you can do this 2 ways. You can either score it at 2 and 5, or you can score it at 2, flip it around and score it at 2 again. And then you're going to score it, and I will put all of this on my blog, so if you're missing anything, don't worry, and we'll go through it again when we do the second one. So on the 9 3/4 inch side, you'll score at 1 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So we have some score lines. We have one more thing we have to score though, and I'm going to do that before we move on. Hold on one sec, I just covered up my... Did I cover it or did I put it back? Oh well, it's no biggie. I have multiple rulers here. I just like that one because it's shorter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a stylus. So you can use one from your Simply Scored. This one is just one extra I had. And the reason you see X's here, so we have our thinnest part. So this is going to be the top here. So this would be kind of like this, if you can imagine. Bottom. This is the actual bottom flap, back, and then top flap, okay? So this is the top. So this one is where we're going to need to put some stuff in to basically create these little angles here. So I went ahead and measured. This measures 3 inches across. So I went ahead and marked at 1 1/2, which is halfway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to score from the corner here. I'm going to fold this just so you can see. I know it's a little hard on dark paper, but we're going to score from this corner to the 1/2 inch, to the 1 1/2 inch, which is the halfway point. And we're going to score from this quarter. We're going to do it on both sides. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my ruler, and I'm going to line my ruler up with that little tick mark I made and the corner here. And I'm going to just go up. And then I'm going to do the same on this one. So I have my ruler there, and then down here at this corner. So just, oops, just like so. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, this is already marked 1 1/2. So I have my corner to 1 1/2. I'm going to do it on the inside. I feel like it'll be safer. And then corner to 1 1/2. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's really all the extra scoring you have to do, freelance. Everything else is pretty simple. So to get started, we are going to do our bone foldering. We're just going to reinforce our score lines, and same on the sides. And it looks complicated, but it's really a pretty simple little triangle box. It's very cute. So again, I did mark X's. All of these panels are going to come off. The only thing we're saving are the side panels here. So I'm going to grab my scissors. You could also do this with a trimmer if you wanted to. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to try to cut this score line off because it'll be easier than going back and trimming. So I'm going to cut right on the inside of the score line. And same on this side. Oops. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to cut this one off altogether. And you could save this. So I did mark these with X's, but you could use this for if you wanted to do a die cut or a punch. You could use this as a piece. So we could even use the other side that doesn't have the X on it. So I have saved those in the past. I kind of just put them in my folder with my extra scraps. Same thing again, I'm just removing this one. That way if I need like a little square of something, or if I wanted to do, I just cut something out for the other card class. If I wanted to do like a small die cut embellishment, you could just pop some adhesive sheet on this side since it has the X and just cut it out and they'll be ready to go. So this is what we're going to end up with. Okay, it's going to look like this. Only other thing we're going to do is we're going to press these in. Now, one other thing you can do, and I'm just going to grab my my smaller snips. You can take this off a little bit because it doesn't really need to be square necessarily. So if you notice you have a little bit of a gap, which over here I have a little bit that's hanging off, I'm going to just go back and trim that off. Just like so. Same with this one. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but my neighbor's getting a patio put in under their deck. And right now they're scraping out the bottom of the stones. And you know that sound when you have a shovel against something? Ugh, it's making my teeth feel funny. Okay, so we're going to fold that back. So And this is pretty much it. And I should have folded those in, so don't mind me. It's not going to make a difference, quite honestly. But all right, so what we're going to do, this is pretty much it. All we're going to do is we're going to adhere these here, those two on the inside, and then that's pretty much it. It's done. So I'm going to go ahead and put my DSP on. So let's make sure I have this. Now, this is where you need to be really careful if you happen to have directional DSP, because as you can see, the bats are facing the right way here, but here they're upside down. So just pay a little bit of attention to that just in case, okay? Because I wouldn't want you to goof something up, because that happens. Nails on a chalkboard. Exactly, Melanie. You hit the nail on the head, literally. Okay, so these are my 3 DSP panels. So I'm going to tell you these measure 2 7/8. So they're 2 7/8 across because this measures 3. So I just went 1/8 down. You could make it smaller if you want to. You know, it's up to you. I really wouldn't lay exactly on top because it would kind of cover up the box, and you like that nice contrast. So 2 7/8, and this measures 2 3/8. 2 3/8. So you'll need 2 of those. And then this one measures 1 5/8. So to make this simple, I'm going to just grab my liquid glue and just put a little bit of liquid glue on these. And oopsie. The only other thing I probably didn't think about for this one that we have to do, I mean, the box is finished, but we could decorate it. And then we're going to make one more, and we'll decorate that one as well. So this one is pretty simple. Now, one thing I am going to say is I would definitely put some heavy duty adhesive. You're only putting adhesive on this one. So I'm going to use tear and tape. You could also use fast fuse. You could also use liquid glue. So it really just kind of depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to put my silicone mat under here. That way if anything sticks, I'll just roll it back on. Just going to put, you can put as many as you want, but I'm going to put 3. So 1, 2, 3, and same on this side. So this does use, because it goes to 7 inches, you will only get 1 out of a piece of cardstock. So that's kind of one thing where you might be like, well, but it is really cute. And maybe if you had 12 by 12, maybe we could figure out a way that we could make more than one, but so far, this is all I came up with. I actually made this the other night. I think I did it at like 10 o'clock at night because my entire family was asleep. And I knew I needed to work on a project. So I came up and started fooling with this one. And actually, believe it or not, the first time I did it, I got it right. So it was pretty simple. So I'm just flipping these little extra hangover pieces just like back onto it, just like that. So all we're going to do is we're going to put this in, and we're going to fold that flap in, and you're just going to line it up like that. Same thing here. Just going to fold this flap in and line it up. And then I'm going to turn it over so I can just open this up and push my adhesive. If you feel a little nervous about whether you're going to line it up the first time correctly, you could also put some liquid glue on top of your tear and tape. But then that's it. Look, that's it. So if this would bother you because it has 2 different patterns, you could certainly change it up. But how about if we decorate this? So let's do something with this little extra piece. Let's see what we can figure out here. So we have Tasteful Touches. We'll stick with that. And I think You Are So Special is going to be the thing that probably would fit on there without too much space. So how about, let's see if this works. I usually do this with my dies. So I'll take my die and I'll put this on the other side to see if it fits. And that's a little tight, but it's not too bad. So we're going to use that. And what can we make to make it a little bit? That's not quite large enough. This might be a little too big. We'll try that. Let's give this one a shot. Here's what we're going to do. So we're going to ink up. I'm going to just use a little piece of Whisper White. And because we have a good amount of brown, so I don't want to do too much with the brown. So I think I'm going to go with maybe Blushing Bride. So we're just going to go with Blushing Bride. And I know a little piece is going to get cut off, but that's okay. So that's fairly light. I'm going to keep this out in case I decide I want to sponge it or something. So this one is going to be a little bit close, like I said, because the way the S and the L are. But I'm going to just do my best to kind of line these up so they're remotely straight. Grab my sticky tape. This isn't very sticky anymore. So when I say sticky, it's only used to be sticky. So we're going to do that. And let's see if this is going to fit. It's going to be a little bit tight. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pick one side. The other side, we're just going to make sure, let's see, this is going to fit. Or I'm going to make it so it's kind of at the top. And if part of it gets cut off, we'll just put the layer up top. So we're just going to use what we have for this one. So if you want, you can obviously make one that's going to fit a little bit better, but I'm just having, so the little bottom piece is hanging off here, which is okay with me. So we're going to do that. So let me move this over. And I'm going to put both of these on my plate. Have this one hanging off. And I'm going to kind of just skew them so nothing goes through with a hard edge on the roller. And I'm going to run these through the die cutting machine. Oops. Okay. So here are these two. Let's see what that brown piece ended up looking like. So I pull my tape off. I try to pull it to the tape. That way it doesn't rip the paper. So we have, actually this, believe it or not, it kind of turned out almost even. So it must have cut just enough on each side. It actually turned out better than I thought. So that's good. And I love that this one has the stitching to it. So that looks really pretty. And I still think this looks a little bit to me like the brown part in the background, that shape looks a little bit like a fish bowl. So if maybe you have a card that you have to make for a loved one and they're like a super lover of fishing or fish bowls or fish tanks, you could use that as a fish. So I'm going to add one more thing to this just because it's a little bit, it needs just like something, a little bit of something. So I'm going to take crumb cake, and you know I kind of do this at the last minute. So this is kind of my, I don't want to say I do it on purpose, but you know, sometimes I'll be working, I'm like, this needs a little something. So I'm just going to add these little squares. So those are in this right here. So I'm going to just stamp these. So this is crumb cake. So this is going to be a little bit lighter. Oh, I kind of made it a little bit dark, but yeah, it's okay. This is probably not going to actually anybody in real life, so that's just the way it is. I'm going to do one more thing just to make it stand out just a little bit. I'm going to take my Flirty Flamingo and I'm just going to go around the edge. I'm not going into it. I am just literally just kind of getting rid of the white is how I usually say, getting rid of that harsh white edge. So just outlining it so it sticks out a little bit visually from the brown. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put some dimensionals. You could always add some ribbon to this if you wanted to. Lots of other stuff you can add. And then we'll just put our little magnets on there. So I'm just going to put that right there. You could put a piece of ribbon behind there if you wanted to. Really, whatever you want. And I'm going to put 3. 3. So I'm sure the kids at school aren't going to notice, and probably because my nail polish is so dark they didn't notice anyway. But tomorrow we have Spirit Day at school, so I painted my nails the night before last. They're very, very dark navy blue. I'm sure they didn't notice one little bit. I'm going to put this here just for now to see if it's straight, because I want it to be down a little bit, but I don't want it to be that it looks like it's hanging over. So let's go like that. I'm just going to press. So there's that. So same thing again. If you get those little magnets, again, I think Donna got about 1.5 zillion, so they should last her until the day she quits crafting, which is probably never going to happen, right, Donna? You're never giving up crafting. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take, so you can see how many are on here. You're going to take and you're going to put your glue dot on one, and I'm going to make sure I pull off just two. Okay, so you put your glue dot on one, put the one underneath where you want it to go. Now I will say, maybe you could have hidden this, but we've tried that before, and sometimes the extra layers of paper, these magnets aren't that strong. Also, if you have a pacemaker, you probably shouldn't be playing with magnets either, so keep that in mind. But if you have them direct, they should be fine. Pull this off. I'm just going to give that a little bit more of a press. And honestly, the glue dots do hold it. You don't really need anything extra. So there's that. So that's a cute little box. Not anything huge or fancy. I mean, you can see I did pre-cut this. If I wouldn't have, it probably would have taken me an additional 5 minutes maybe. But there is one, and here's the other one. And you could even, if you wanted to make a lot of these, you could do something, just thinking of it, you could do like a little circular shape of these, and, you know, like tie it with a ribbon, and you could fill different treats with it. That would be a really cool idea too. So keep that in mind when you have these little things that are kind of, they're fun and they make a shape. So you would eventually, you could probably get in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So probably have 6. And then you could wrap them with ribbon. You could do these as like a little advent tree with these boxes. Man, somebody needs to record these ideas and email them to me so I remember, because that would be a really cool treat for Christmas. And I know, because I know I do. So all of you have probably tons of paper that you could use, which would be really cool, right? So just a couple ideas for you. You just clean these two off, and then we will make our other one from start to finish, and see if anybody has any questions about anything. All right, maybe for a shower. Yeah, that would be a great idea for a shower. A shower, like birthday party favors. If anybody's having a birthday for a kid, they could all have their own little thing. That would be really adorable too. So now if you did that, maybe you would want to leave off this little extra stuff, or maybe you wouldn't, you know. We don't have a whole lot to get excited about in 2020. 2020 is kind of crazy in so many different ways that maybe we're like, yeah, we need a little extra. We need a little extra something in 2020. Okay, so for this one, let me move this stuff over, and I'm going to keep this out, and I'm going to keep this one on top in case we want to go with this instead. So we're going to start. This one I decided we would do with shaded spruce, okay? So I did cut my DSP pieces. Now these do match up. Somewhere around here they matched up. I probably cut like the little connecting piece. Maybe it's right here. No, whatever it is. Anyway, so these are the stripes. If you don't like the stripes, you could always go with the greenery portion of it. So somehow I must have missed that little teeny piece in between. I probably trimmed it off. But I have those two, and then I thought this leafy piece would go really pretty with it. There's lots of patterns in this. This is also a really, really beautiful paper. So if you're looking for some paper, could possibly be some specials coming up soon. So keep your eyes peeled. Lots of fun things. Lots of fun things coming. So again, we're going to start on the 7-inch side. And now, don't tell me I dropped both of my styluses. Good Lord. I just have a case of the dropsies today. Okay, so we're going to score on the 7-inch side, so 7-inch across. We're going to score at, I'm going to use my bigger one, 2 and 5. Now, if you feel like somehow, maybe, possibly, your paper could be off, you could turn it around and just do 2 on both sides. That's perfectly acceptable. I do that a lot of times because I'm maybe not 100% sure if for some reason it's not exactly exact. Char, I will tell you, I love my chamois, but since I have been working and not here working as much, they're so dried out I keep forgetting to refill them, so I've been just using my scrub lately. So nope, no real reason, honestly. It's just because it's probably easier is my real reason. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 9 3/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4. And pretty much that's it, except for that one little bit of scoring. So we're going to do that. That way we're all finished. So remember, we're not doing anything with this one or this one. We're going to do the third panel. So this is the thin side. So the third panel is where we're going to be measuring, okay? So I'm going to grab my ruler one more time. Remember, this measures 3, so we're just going to make a little pencil mark at 1.5. It doesn't have to be dark at all, just enough that you can see it. You can erase it, but honestly, it's going to be on the inside. You're not even going to notice. So same thing again. We're going to go to 1.5. Okay, and oops, forgot. Getting ahead of myself. Then you're going to score from the bottom corner here to that mark, and same thing from the top to that mark. We're going to flip it and do the same. So we have our 1.5 inch mark here. I know it's not very easy to see with pencil on dark green. Score, and there's my mark. So corner to mark. Okay, and that is it. Easy as pie. So I'm just going to do my reinforcement of my score lines. Same on this side. You could trim it before if you wanted to. Just personal preference. So you could trim first and then reinforce. Just up to you, whatever you want to do. So once again, I'm removing this, this, and this. This, and this. Okay, so I'm going to just cut. I'm trying to cut so you can see. And cut. And right here, I think we're supposed to get some rain tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been watching the news. I'm hoping the California fires are subsiding, but quite honestly, I don't really know. We have had beautiful weather. It was about 80 yesterday. It was really, really nice. I think tomorrow's supposed to be a little bit of rain in the afternoon. But we definitely have had fall weather, that's for sure. Fall is here. A couple days, whoops, I ripped that little piece. Didn't cut far enough. A couple days we had some really chilly weather where I thought I might have to cut the banana trees down, but so far, so good. So same thing again. This time we're going to fold in because that's what I should have done the first time. So fold in, just reinforce. I'm going to nip that little piece off. Fold in. Oregon fires are getting better, thank goodness. I'm glad to hear that. I know lots of you guys, lots of my demos, as a matter of fact, are on the West Coast, so I do think about them very often. Now, I want to tell you one other alternate thing that you could do if you wanted to. So this is just a personal preference, but I know sometimes people like this. I figured I will mention it. You could round the corners of this if you wanted to. So just this piece here, you would feed this into, this is the detailed trio punch. So it's 146320. What you do is you're going to feed this in. And I'll do it for this one just to make something different. So you feed it in, it rounds the corner. And there you go. You have that rounded. Now, since I rounded that, I'm going to round the piece that's going to go on there. So I just want to make sure it's going the correct direction. So I'm going to round these bottom two. The other thing this one does is it does put holes if you have tags, and then gives this little flourish. I probably never use this one. I use the corner mostly, and then this one sometimes. All right, so I just want to make sure all of my pieces looked fairly trimmed. A couple little teeny ridges I want to take off. That one looks pretty good. Ridge here. And I mean, you could even do that rounding on this part here, which would be the bottom. So you could round this too if you wanted to. So since we did that one, I'm just going to do the bottom one too, just so it looks cohesive. And that way we have a different version. And that way you'll know if you don't like it, don't round it when you finish. See what this looks like finished. And then one of these, let's see, we'll go with this one. We're going to round the two sides. Okay, so now we're going to just put our DSP on. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just do it with liquid glue. And I like the liquid glue because if you goof it up a little bit, you see you have that wiggly that you can move it. But the other nice thing about that is if you move the glue around, it really, really makes it adhere to the paper super well. You could even use that side if you wanted to. and put that there. And then one more is going to be this one. Let's see which side do I like better. I think I'm going to do this way. All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to grab my tear and tape one final time and my silicone mat. So remember, we're sticking to this side because this is the, let's say the back, but it's kind of the back. So we're going to put tear and tape on this and this. So I'm, again, just using the silicone mat. That way, if I have anything that hangs over, it kind of makes it easier to roll it back on. And I put 3 on there before. Just for sake of time, I'm just going to do 2 on this one. Rainbow Stamper is at soccer practice. It's starting to get dark earlier, so I don't know how much longer this is going to last on Thursday evenings. And he really, really, really loves soccer practice. So we have soccer, and then he also does lacrosse on Sunday. So we have a little bit of normalcy in the sports department here. However, I'm thinking there's not going to be much in the indoor sports, so come winter, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. So we're going to fold this in and line it up just like so. Nice and easy. If you ever feel like, again, if you feel like, oh, it's not going to work, put a little bit of liquid glue on top of this and it gives you that wiggle, but it also gives you really strong reinforcement. So I'm kind of just eyeballing where it is. Make sure it looks like it's closing okay. And then I'm going to open this up and just using my bone folder, I'm just going to press just to make sure that goes down. That's it. All right. So if you want to do something aside from the magnet, the other thing you could do is, do I have, this one's a really pretty one. No, it's not too wide, but the crinkled seam binding ribbon, you could even wrap that around here if you wanted to. Now, if you do that, the only thing is you want to make sure that you put your tie down here kind of at the bottom. That way you don't have to rip it apart to be able to open it. So I'm gonna kind of just eyeball this. And I'm gonna put just a little bow down here. You can always trim it. So I'm making my bow down here on the corner, but I'm gonna move it. Okay, and then what I'll do is I will just pull it up a little bit. So this bow is a little bit big, so I'm gonna actually bring this in some, because I don't want the bow to take away from the box. Make it a teeny bit smaller. Okay, and then we're gonna just snip. Okay, there's that and that. You could also color this if you wanted to. If you wanted it to be matching, you could color this with the shaded Spruce Stampin' Blends. But I want to do one more little thing. I want to add at least a little something on here. So we have our Whisper White scrap. And let's see. Could be something small. Just thinking of you. How about thinking of you? And then we'll just do like a little leafy flourish thing from one of these guys. Now what I'm going to do, and I'm going to, hopefully I have enough of this. Let me see. I had a piece out, but I think did I use it? Yeah, because that's masking paper. So let me grab a piece. It's not far. I can reach it without knocking anything off. So I'm going to take a little piece of the adhesive sheet. So Stampin' Up's adhesive sheet comes, it's like a 3-panel piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold. This is the easiest way I've found to do it. If you found an easier way, please let me know. Help a girl out. So I'm just going to take this piece, and because the sticky is on this part, so it kind of makes, it's a little bit backwards than what we're used to. Put that there. I'm just going to press this down onto it. Okay, so then this now has adhesive on it, and I'm going to snip this. I'm going to snip on the inside so I don't get it on my scissors. So then what we're going to do is we're going to run this through our die cutting machine with this little flourish, and it'll already have adhesive on it. So the only thing we're going to do is, how about we'll do, let's just do a little happy birthday, just a little one. So happy birthday. And we're going to keep it the same. We're going to just be tone on tone on tone. We'll go shaded spruce. Okay. And that'll be cute. That way we have like some kind of florally something, and then we have something that has a harder line to it. So it kind of gives like the both parts of it. So you have a hard line and then a soft edge. I'm trying not to stick that there in case that's still a little bit wet. So I'm going to give that 1 second. Let me put this out of the way. Move a couple of these things over. All right, so we're going to put this on our cutting, just like that. And this one, you know, since I have this, do I have anything else there? Because something small. I'm just going to put these two because I have adhesive on this already. So I figure I might as well die cut something. That's probably a little too big. We'll go with that. There we go. Just to do something. And I'm not sure if anybody has the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and if you've used it and your magnet stuff isn't popping all over the place, share with us, because I would love to know. I know that's one of the things with this that's a little bit annoying, is that sometimes things jump all over the place, and supposedly because that is a full magnet, that's not supposed to happen. So if anybody has tested that out and they can tell us if it is or isn't correct, let us know. Maybe you don't need to tape stuff anymore, which would be pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to move this, put this back, and just going to pop the. Now I know this one doesn't have anything. It is slightly embossed, but you could stamp this, so I'll just keep that in there. What's this look like? This one I've been dying to see what it looks like. Oh, it's a little something. Let's see. And then we have 2 leaves. So those I'll probably just save for another occasion, but I didn't want to waste using that paper since it had adhesive on it. This one's getting a little gnarly, so I'm going to chuck it. And then I have my little double stitched happy birthday banner. Okay. And I just want to make sure I put these in the correct spot. We don't lose them. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to take my super duper old paper piercer and I'm going to push this through. So this is like a little, I don't know what it is, but it's cute. And it has like a raised portion to it. So that's something we could use. Then we have these little tiny leaves. Could use those. Could save them for a card. I think I'm going to pop some of these in. But I'm going to wait until I'm done. Just to be sure. Because you never know. And then this one's really pretty because it has raised edges. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. See if I can show you. It has little edges here, so it looks like the veins in the leaves. It's really cute. That's really nice. This has a lot of really good dyes in it. The fern and the, I've already forgotten what it's called. So how about if we add this and this, like that, and then we could put just one. I don't know, I kind of think it looks nice. I'm going to just do the simple. I'm going to do the bottom, just like I said in the beginning. The rest of these pieces I'm going to put in with my stamp set. One little tip, let me tell you one little thing real quick. I have seen people, and they've done this. So these are the clear envelopes. So these, when you're making a regular card, your card will fit in there. So if you make cards and you want to protect them, like selling them or sending them or whatever the case may be. The other thing you can do is you could stick one of these if you don't have your magnets in, or you could even put it on the back like that. You could stick it to it, and then you could put your little extra pieces in here. That way they don't get either all kind of marled up with your dies. Because I know, and anytime I put anything extra, I like to put it in here. I used to put it in the die sleeves, but you could even put it in just like that. That way you'll have those pieces in there, and they're not going to be all, you know how sometimes things get stuck to the sticky paper, but then you'll have them in there. It's the perfect size to fit in there. Close it up, and then you have it all together. So that just came to me. So see, that is why I like doing these things live, because I think of things that I wouldn't have thought of ordinarily. So this I'm going to just stick down because we have the adhesive, and then this I think I'm going to pop up with 2 dimensionals. So this is going to wrap up our card making today. I will be back again on Saturday. I think Saturday I may do YouTube again. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, you can find me there at Rachthestamper. Make sure you're subscribed and you turn on the notifications bell. That way when I make a video or a live or put something new on there, you'll be notified. And I have my card class on Saturday, so I'm really excited. I just have to do my little finishing touches. So the cool part about the adhesive sheet, you're just going to pull it off. So this part gets thrown away. And then this part is already sticky. So this is going to help us twofold, because right now I have my ribbon, so it's kind of mobile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball where I want this. I'm going to put it kind of centered. Not really pressing just yet, and I just want to see. That looks cute. So I'm going to press this. And that's also going to help hold our ribbon in place. So when they untie it, it will technically stay tied to the little treat holder. We'll put this right here. You could even put a piece of the brass foil, like a little circle, stitch circle behind there would look really cute. But anyway, look, so here's what 3 of them look like together if we were making our little half circle. So look how cute that would be. And then you could have 3 on the other side. That'll be adorable favors. Wrap them up with a ribbon. You could do these, and this is the thing, if you were doing this as like a theme and you wanted to have your DSP show on the outside, you could, but you have to remember that it's not going to be as sturdy if you make the box out of DSP or the triangle out of DSP versus if you decorate it with DSP. So you could totally still, you could end up doing this. So let's see, this would be kind of like a square. So you could cut more of like a diagonal, but you could cut a piece and then you could end up cutting it in half and use half for one and half for the other if you wanted to add paper to it, which that would be really cute. But there's what they look like. Again, these 2 we did with the in case you came in late, we did these with the magnet closures. You see that for the magnet. And then this one we decided to switch up. Well, I should say I made the executive decision that we did this one with ribbon, but they're really, really cute. And these measure, let me see if I can find my little thingamajiggy under here. No, that one doesn't have measuring stuff on it. Let's see. These are 3, they're about 3 and a little bit by about 3. So they're pretty small. I mean, they're not huge, but you can definitely fit some good stuff in there. And the other thing is, so I know we were talking about this earlier. Say if you were going to make these for, I know someone said their daughter's having triplets, which God bless you, grandma, mom, whatever you're going to call yourself. You're going to have your hands full. But what you could do is if you were prepping for this, you could make a whole bunch of these. You could decorate them with the DSP. You could have the folds done, everything, and just not put them together yet. So you could keep them all flat. And then right before you need them, you could just pop them all together with some tear and tape or some liquid glue and then put them together. So you wouldn't really have to waste a ton of space storing them while you waited to use them. So that's another good idea too. If you are one, which I know Kathy a lot of times makes mass projects for stuff. She'll give out treats and whatnot. So if you're going to do something like that, you can always keep the things kind of all decorated, just not fully assembled yet. So it'll save some space for you in the meantime, just to be able to help you get through until you get through to whatever event it is that you're making these adorable things for. So I want to thank you guys as always so very much for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. If you aren't already, I would love for you to give me a like here. I know I send out a lot of invitations to like my page, and if you do like my page, it just helps me to be seen more. So if I've sent you one, it's not going to sell you anything or make you get any weird stuff. It's just basically helping me be more seen. So if you notice that you got an invitation to like my page, I would really appreciate it if you went through and said, yes, I do like her page. And if you didn't, that's okay too. No big deal. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy early Friday to you guys. I will see you again on Saturday morning. I don't know exactly what time, but I think I'm going to shoot for 9:30 as usual. So 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, you can find me on YouTube. not on Facebook on Saturday. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thank you so much for watching.